love that question for numerous reasons. So we actually we welcome all backgrounds. We welcome all professional backgrounds. You do not have to have a medical experience to be extremely successful in this model. What is most important to us, and I think this ties in well to the beginning of the first part of your question, which was who makes an ideal candidate for us, right? We are looking for people that have that same empathy and compassion that Jean had when she founded this business. That is what is very important to us. Also, we look for folks that they enjoy connecting with their community. They enjoy developing relationships. They like to be out there meeting and greeting, right? The mayor of the community, right? Because they're going to be working with hospitals and doctors' offices and rehab facilities, right? So anybody that has that, really outgoing personality that enjoys that. We also look for folks, obviously, right, that have leadership skills, people that are, excited about being in a business where they are going to be hands-on, right, in the business.
We look for someone who, first of all, they have to have high integrity, someone who is caring, someone who has an affinity for music or education. It might be a teacher of any subject matter, someone who maybe ran a childcare or worked in childcare, someone who maybe a therapist. We do music therapy as well, but you can come from so many different backgrounds. You don't have to have a music background. We find it helpful if someone is not afraid of sales, or if they're willing to hire a sales team, because you will have to, sell. We also look for someone who's willing to learn and has a desire to keep learning, because we do train on things like marketing and the systems in the business. So most importantly in this business, we look for someone who can communicate very clearly and be very level-headed, because when you're dealing with children, it's something that's very, very sensitive for parents. And it may seem like something that, we're just selling music lessons, but for parents, it's something that they are very, very, very passionate about. And if there's a challenge, whether it be with the schedule or with the teacher or anything like that, you need someone who can speak clearly and represent themselves calmly with families, because families, especially if they bring their students in for music lessons, they are probably artistic, they are creative, and that brings passion. Sometimes passion brings emotion. So we definitely look for someone who is a kind-natured person, but willing to work hard. And again, as I said earlier, someone who can stomach being in business for themselves and deal with the hard days and get back up the next day and keep going.
The best part about all our brands, and Made Pro specifically, is you don't have to love cleaning. You don't have to have any experience there. I think it's a little different from the kitchen tune-up, where I think yes, you should be passionate about, helping people's, dreams realize in their homes. Whereas like, people probably not passionate about like cleaning toilets. We're looking for someone who enjoys people, is okay, managing people on a day-to-day. I'd say if you're not someone who's like, oh, I'm ready to handle X amount of employees, unless you're hiring a manager right up front, it could be tough for you. And we want someone who's ready to learn and is eager to learn and dive in, like the other owner said. You want someone who's going to go full tilt your brand, because that's what's going to make it successful. So someone who's ready to work, but also at the same time like going to listen and understand that franchising has a roadmap, and the more you look at it, the more successful everyone is.
So the ideal person that I look for is someone who's not afraid of networking or talking to people. Communication is very important in this business, and that's really the main thing that I look for in an owner, is that ability to build relationships with customers and referral partners. Everything else we can train them on. We can train them on products. We can train them on business ownership and management. But that's what I look for, is the ability to follow a plan, of course, but being able to develop and feel comfortable building relationships with customers and referral partners is really all that's needed to be successful.
We look for franchise owners. We're not looking for someone that comes from the industry. Actually, less than 5% of our owners do. We found it's a lot harder to train someone that's come from the industry than it is to take someone and to educate them how to run a kitchen tune-up franchise?
Well, certainly searching for people who have a passion for the mental health field. I mean, I think it's necessary if you do have your own NORA mental health clinic, that you do truly want to make a difference and want to make an impact in those around you. It also helps, of course, to have the entrepreneurial spirit, and at least have a little experience managing a team, maybe experience locally networking, because that can, of course, be fruitful when thinking about getting referrals locally. Our online marketing program is very honed, and that does bring in most of the referrals, and it will get the phones ringing. But of course, the local or organic flow is also important. So I would think those are a few things that we're really searching for as far as franchisees go.
Compassion and empathy are going to be first and foremost. I think that you're going to be doing a lot of counseling in this role with seniors and their families as they're going through a major life crisis and transition. So that has to be for strong and high emotional intelligence. When you're in your community, your patients are going to be anyone from any background, religion, race, ethnicity, etc. And so they need to be able to know that their clientele is going to be very diverse. The one thing they're going to have in common is their age. And then I think the other big thing is, I think that when we're going through the process and discovery process, we're also looking for people that see the value of having this as a passion project for them, that they want to be involved and make a difference in their community. And we know for the owners that is a genuine part of their marketing strategy. They're the ones that are the most successful. And so I think someone wants to get really involved in their community.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for pause. I think that when you look at our services, the best franchisees are going to be the ones that are believers or users of our services. If you don't use or believe in these services, it's going to be hard to sell a business focused around them. So I think that would be a big thing. To date, we've awarded 33 studios across the US and have 12 different franchisees, and they all have that common thread. They really believe in the services. So I think that's really important. Business experience would be important as well. It can be a little bit complex in the sense of, you don't have a ton of employees, but it is a business that you're building from the ground up that is, the services are newer. So it's not like a gym, where people have been working out and they understand the services. You're educating the community. So I think that component is important as well.
Desire to succeed. A lot of businesses are built on mindset. And if, the potential candidates are coming into a system, not only do we want them to be excited about coming into business, but we want them to have some kind of, buy-in with the brand that they're looking at. We take them through 6 stages of due diligence, and one of those is validation. So they can ask any question they want, but we have people that come into Mathnasium from all walks of life: business, schools, teachers. We're seeing a lot of teachers come into our system because they want to get closer to kids again. With the current regulations that they have at schools, they're getting further and further away from the kids. And so they're not able to teach like they want. So, but we have all types of people. Again, there's certain things that they need to qualify for, but for the most part, anybody who wants to start a business and be successful and have the right mindset
is passionate about helping the kids. When I got into your business, TAMIKA, 24 years ago, I couldn't wait to get on the phone to talk to franchise candidates or people to get clients, because I knew in my heart nobody was going to do a better job taking care of these people, steering them towards things that were going to be in their best interest. That's what I'm looking for Fundraising University. Find me somebody who has a passion for kids and athletics, who's willing to drive to the school, get out of the car, and go find that coach to tell the story. That's it. Like Michael said, we'll teach them everything else. You find us that person, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I definitely, I think that the best piece of advice that I can give to folks is truly to do their due diligence, right? Because starting a business is obviously, right, as we all know, it's a very, very big decision. And I think that so many of the folks that I speak with are at a crossroad in their lives, right? And it's twofold. It could be somebody that has, you know, this desire to transition out of corporate. They've kind of had their years in corporate and now they want to do something for themselves, right? And many people, you know, they want to do something meaningful in the business that they're looking at. They want to do something where they feel like they're giving back, right, to their community. And I think those are really the folks that this would be an ideal fit for. But also too, I think I always recommend that when folks are at that crossroad that they give themselves permission, like give yourself permission to go through the process with TAMIKA, right? Like give yourself that permission to like explore. I mean, there could be something out there that you've never thought about that, and it could be something that turns out to be the best thing you've ever done. Because sometimes, right, we can kind of let apprehension and maybe fear, like, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this. You can do anything. There's nothing any of us cannot do if we like commit to it. So I think that's something, is just giving yourself that opportunity to learn and to explore business ownership, because when you find that right fit, nothing is going to bring you probably as much joy as being successful in your own business with the support, right, of a great franchisor. So I think that would really be my advice. And for somebody that was an entrepreneur by themselves, I can tell you, I am a huge supporter and advocate of the franchise model. It works, and it is something where the support that you get and being a part of this collaborative family where everybody wants to support you and help you, there's nothing else like it. There's just nothing else like it.
So I would say two things. First of all, be persistent. Be persistent. Be persistent. Don't ever give up. And number two, take action. Take a lot of action. It doesn't matter if it's something small. It may feel defeating if you do something that doesn't work. But the best part of business is that if you keep on going, you keep on trying different things, that you will find success. And lastly, one that I did not say before was, as we mentioned before about the mentor, find a great mentor who inspires you and who wants you to exceed what it is that they've accomplished, because they're going to be a conduit to other people who you can meet in your life who will help you get to that level. And once you find your tribe, you find your people, then you will be able to be successful no matter what it is that you're inspired to do in business.
I think that the most important thing is just make sure you do your research. And I think you should rely heavily on your coach and the franchise development person that you're working with. I also think validation is the most important part of the entire franchise discovery process. Hearing from the owners, because I can sit here all day and tell you that this is a great business and we're going to support you and there's profit here and everything like that. But you have to hear it from those people that are out there actually running this business, like Becky. There's always going to be a little bit of fear when it comes to a big change like joining a franchise system, but I don't think you should be afraid of that fear. And I think it's really important just to make sure that you're joining a franchise that feels like home to you.
You know, like Hannah said, do your research. You know it, because when our sales process, and I'm sure everybody else's sales process is the same, it's an educational process. We're not high pressure. I hate high pressure salespeople. And I tell people that from day one, as I hope you can realize, I'm pretty laid back. You know, I'm over 50 years old. You know, I had nothing to prove. I just, you know, the joy to me beyond, you know, helping build the business or everything, to see families like Nick and Tessa or anybody else that I put in there, see them grow and thrive. That is a benefit that you cannot put a monetary value on. And I want to, for myself, I want to leave a legacy. Said, hey, I help these people grow their business. I help them. We have franchisees that have been in 20 years. Now their kids are running their business for them, and they're getting out and doing vacationing more. So, but the validation, like every Friday, we have group validation calls that are hosted by our franchise owners. And, this is an opportunity for a group. We might have anywhere from 5 to 20 different potential franchisees on these calls. And that's probably been the most beneficial thing that I've seen from just talking to franchise owners as far as gathering information that's been beneficial for them. Then obviously we do the one-on-one calls and things of that nature. Obviously do a discovery day. We've been doing all ours virtually, obviously, but for the last year, but do a discovery day, get to know them. We do as our brand president and our head development director, they'll do a one-on-one call with every potential owner. Once we get them to the point of filling out an application, they'll do a one-on-one call to open themselves up and say, what do you want to learn? What have you learned already? What do you want to ask me? And kind of learn about their goals too. So really get to know the franchisor and follow the process too. Don't try to jump, don't go from the first call to wanting to go to discovery day right away. There's a lot of education that needs to go in between there. But be open, be honest. I'm very transparent with, and I'll tell people that, if I have someone that comes in and they got a $25,000 net worth, I just say, I don't think this is going to be the timing for you. Or I've told people that, I just don't think we're the right industry. There's a franchise out there for you, but we're probably not the right one. Or in Nick and Tessa's case, I said, you found the perfect home and kitchen too now.
So I really hope that everyone else found it insightful. And if there's any other follow-up questions, they could definitely reach out. So again, I'm Tamika at Precision Franchise, and my goals is to understand what your goals are and to try to make sure that we are aligning the types of businesses with your goals, with your the things that you really like doing, your transferable skills as well. What is it that you actually like doing, and really see if we have a fit. And I have resources also available on my website at precisionfranchise.com. And this is just for you to make sure that you have the information that you need before you move forward with anything. So let's stay connected.